So I'm taking a prayer today from this book, Release and Renew for 2022, A Spiritual Practice for Lent. And this is from Reverend Paul Hasselbeck in his book called Point of Power. I am an expression of God. I am good, loving, and powerful. I am a point of power in the expression of God. When I remember the truth about myself, I can bring good forth from any situation, not separate from the allness of God, but as an expression of the allness of God. I can use any situation to bring divine order forth. In a sense, as God expressing, divine order is the highest good we can create out of the raw materials of life. And from 2 Corinthians, put things in order, listen to my appeal, agree with one another, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you. Amen.
Thank you, Judy. Well, now let's everyone stand up, and we're going to have our first song. Mike, what's
the first song today is "The River Is Here."
Down the mountain we love to go, and brings refreshing wherever it goes. Through the valleys and over the fields, the river is rushing and the river is here. The river of God sets our feet to dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God sets our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice, for the river is here. The river of God is teeming with life, and all who touch it can be revived. And all who linger on this river shore will come back thirsting for more of the Lord. The river of God sets our feet to dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice, for the river is here. Up to the mountain we love to go, to find the presence of the Lord. Along the banks of the river we run, we dance with laughter, giving praise to the sun. The river of God sets our feet to dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice, for the river is here. The river of God sets our feet to dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice, for the river is here. And we rejoice, for the river is here. And we rejoice, for the river is here.
Thank you. And
You know, for those of you who join us online, for those of you who join us here in person, and then there's people that will be watching this in our archives at some other date in the future. But everyone that's watching this, they're watching it because they feel, I believe you agree with this, that you feel something that is at the very core of your being, that there's so much more to life then we can see that there's really a great mystery that we can't put into words, but we feel it. We feel our connection with that something that we call spirit, or we call God, or we call it by many names, but we feel that. And we want to know more. We feel like we can have a better connection, and we feel like if we have a better connection with that truth of our being, then our life will be majorly improved in all different areas. We here at Unity, our core values. It's nice to just let them be known, and we hope that we embody these and that you see this. But our core values are inclusive, open-minded, compassionate, spirit-filled, service-oriented, and abundant. Those are our core values. And so, no matter where you come from, what religious background, I mean, we see the good. We see that central truth in all religions. And there is that kernel of the truth and love that you can see in all religions. And the Unity co-founders, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, they were both truly open-minded and love to study about other religions and other types of spirituality. Actually, Unity in a way actually started as we consider our start date as 1889 with the publication of a magazine, and which they called Modern Thought. And it was a magazine dedicated to exploring spirituality. And this thing that we call God, this thing we call spirit. And our founder, Myrtle, had gone through a healing experience from tuberculosis. She had been given only some months to live, but she healed herself. And that was the impetus that Charles had to start this magazine exploring spirituality. How did this happen that she was able to heal herself? So Modern Thought was published, like I said, in April of 1889, and then it was eventually changed the name to just Thought, and then it became Unity Magazine, which is still in production today, and you can subscribe to that. But we do, no matter what color you are, no matter what, whether you're gay or you're straight or whatever you are, wherever you put yourself, you're welcome here. We are so glad that you have come here to explore spirituality with us and to tap into that presence that is within each and every one of us. So there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, and we're part of that one. And we are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual laws. Jesus described God as spirit. He said, God is spirit. And spirit is invisible. I mean, no one's ever seen God, so we're talking about a force, a power, an energy. In Unity, divine mind is a great name that we use for this thing that we call God, this thing that we call spirit, divine mind. And we're like individual thoughts in the mind of divine mind. But all of Spirit's creations are spiritual. And we say that in divine mind, which is our name for spirit, all creations are divine ideas. And earth, this manifestation here on earth is for us to manifest these divine ideas, make them manifest, to bring them into being here in this earthly realm. So we are the agents who have the privilege and the opportunity to take these divine ideas and manifest them on earth. So faith is my topic today. And faith is a divine idea. And within each of us is this wellspring of faith, readily available as we open our minds and as we open our hearts to our oneness, to our constant connection with Spirit. There is no point in time that we are not connected to Spirit, one with Spirit. Faith is one of our most important spiritual powers, and it's a power that we can develop and strengthen. And we do that. We develop and strengthen our spiritual powers, and faith being one of those, by using them and putting them into practice. So faith is a central theme throughout the Bible. And we read about the life of Jesus in the Bible, and we read over and over again how him talking about faith, and him living a life of faith. And he tells us that all things are possible for those who believe. And there's lots of healing stories in the New Testament. And over again, what you hear Jesus say is, your faith has made you whole. Your faith has healed you. Your faith has saved you. Your faith. The Oxford Dictionary defines faith as complete trust and confidence in someone or something. In my letter that went out this past week, I put out a letter with our newsletter every week. It came out Thursday, and we're going to be doing it on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays from now on. But in that letter, I said, how would your life change if you truly had complete trust or confidence in your true self? Your true self, that part of you which is fully human but also fully divine. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and the spiritual part trumps the human part. So tapping into that faith within you that knows the truth of who you are brings with it the freedom and power to truly live a life of purpose, and in turn become an agent of transformation. And that is what we're here. That's what we are all about here at Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor. We are about transformation. Our mission here is to inspire and empower spiritual growth, to awaken us and transform our world. And another point I repeated again in my letter was that a transformed world can only be ushered in by a transformed people. People who know the truth of who they are, and live from that truth. You are the human components that allows the good of Spirit, the love of Spirit, the wisdom of Spirit, and the peace of Spirit to flow into the world through you. In Hebrews 11:1, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." In the New Testament version, it's now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, has a lot to say about substance. And in Dynamics of Living, which was a compilation of some of Charles Fillmore's most influential teachings, he wrote, God is substance. And then he goes on, he says, this does not mean matter. Matter is form while God is the formless. The substance which God is lies back of all matter and all forms. And then in Revealing Word, another small booklet that he wrote about concerning metaphysics, he goes on to say that substance is the divine idea of the underlying reality of all things. Substance is everywhere present, pervades all things, and inspires to action. It underlies all manifestation and is the spiritual essence, the living energy out of which everything is made. Through substance, all of the attributes of being are expressed. It sustains and enriches any idea that is projected into it. Divine substance is our supply. Out of it, we form whatever we will according to our faith and understanding. By entering into the silence, acknowledging divine substance, affirming our faith in and oneness with it, we become conscious of substance. And we also become conscious of the truth of who we are. Charles Fillmore wrote a book called Keep a True Lent, which is a compilation of 40 different writings, articles that he wrote to be observed during the time of Lent, which we are in right now, which he believed Lent was a great time to deepen our spiritual understanding. And so he wrote a book about guiding people in the observance of Lent. And he described faith as the perceiving power of the mind linked with a power to shape substance. It is spiritual assurance, the power to do the seemingly impossible. It is a force that draws to us our heart's desire right out of the invisible spiritual substance. It is a deep inner knowing that that which is sought is already ours for the taking. And then he says it's the assurance of things hoped for. Linda Martella Whitsett wrote a book just a little while back called Divine Audacity, which is a book that I just last year finally picked up and read. And Divine Audacity is a modern take on Charles Fillmore's The 12 Powers of Man. And she says that faith is the power to make the possible real. I don't know, I really liked that definition, that faith is the power to make the possible real. And she says our very sense of reality depends on faith. It is the power that realizes, that is, makes real images held in mind. I mean, just think about it. I mean, our third unity principle is that we create our life experiences by the thoughts and the ideas that we hold in our minds, the thoughts that we focus on. And if you look at anything out here in the world, what you see is everything that you see in this room was first created as an idea. It came as an idea to someone. And then that idea became manifest through work and effort in every item that you see. It all starts with the idea. Musicians, I mean, if you read the lives of people like Beethoven, what you see and hear, reading about them, is that they hear this music. Literally, they hear it. They pick up on it, and then they write it down. It is in mind first. This is what we're talking about, God being divine mind, and all of its expressions are ideas, and then we are the ones that make them manifest. So now I'm going to invite you to stand up as we begin to close our service, and we're going to close first with our love offering prayer, which Judy will lead, and then we're going to sing the peace song, and then I will close with the prayer of protection.
So let's raise our consciousness to our offerings and put our heart focus on that. Let's say this together. Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us.
I am light.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am love.
The power of God protects us.
I am power.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am presence.
Wherever we are, God is.
I am divine.
And my friends, you truly are. Thank you so much for being here. So glad to have you here. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.